We have had a mystery on our hands this week. The scholars in this room are the crew of the mighty ship, the Envisioner. While in search of an ancient treasure, we got marooned on an island, and a key part of our navigational map went missing. Of the entire crew, we consider 4 suspects. Today, you will hear the evidence collected against Dr. Smart and the shipwright Neff.
Today I'll be talking about the splint. The splint is for a broken neck. It's kind of like a collar. First you have to start at the top of the splint and measure the neck brace to 5 inches. Then fold the upper part into a V shape. Then put it on the patient. Make sure that the V is under the chin. Then close it by wrapping it around the neck, but don't choke them. Then wrap it with bandages. Make sure that the patient can't move his or her neck. If they can't, it will cause a lot of pain to the patient. And this was to help you know how a splint works.
Today I'm going to tell you about the lung. Here's how it works. It sucks in the air, then it filters out the oxygen to be further processed by the heart. Then the lung expels any other non-useful gases.
While in search of missing survivors on the island, we learned how to apply splints to associated injuries until medical experts arrived.
We had to build M-bots and program them to aid in our search and rescue efforts.
We created a bridge out of tape, straws, paper clips, and cardboard. It took lots of tape, but only 2 pieces of cardboard.
The robot that we created will be going over the bridge that we also created.
And now we are going to demonstrate how the truss bridge works.
While we were investigating the case of the missing map piece, we had to review the profiles of the suspects and the evidence of the scene of the crime. I'll talk about the heart dissection. First, I will tell you the parts of a heart. The aorta, next, vena cava, pulmonary artery, right atrium, pulmonary vein, left atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle, and the dissection was fun.
A banded crate is a neurotoxic snake. The banded crate can grow up to 6 feet long. They are black with yellow bands. Only if they are startled they will attack. They mostly catch their food at night. The bite is usually fatal. The bite can cause muscle paralysis that leads to respiratory paralysis with pain or swelling. The king cobra is the longest venomous snake in the world. They can reach up to 20 feet. They can lift their body off the ground. They can make pain, muscle weakness, and swelling. If they are cornered or someone touches their eggs, they become fiercely aggressive. Henry, you gotta get it.
The red-tailed green rat snake is non-venomous, but it is big enough to give you a strong and painful bite, and he is 7.5 feet long and thick as your wrist, and is green, silver, and brownish. Things you would do if you were bit by a snake: add pressure and add a bandage. And things you wouldn't do if you were bit by a snake: don't suck out the venom unless you are a professional.
Investigating the case of the missing map pieces, we had to review the profiles of the suspects and the evidence of the scene of the crime.
While searching the island, we had to analyze blood from the scene of the crime. We did not use real blood, but we did use properties of blood. Blood drops help in many ways. While we were investigating the case of the missing map piece, we had to review the white powder at the scene.
The first thing you do when examining the powder is test it. The second thing you do while examining the powder is test different types of powders. The third thing you do is figure out which powders reacts the same. The first thing you do when examining fingerprints is dust them. The second thing you do is get the suspect's fingerprints. The third thing you do is match the prints.
Fingerprints and white powder are ways we find criminals. You find out white powder by using different powders, then you put different liquids in them. See which one reacts the same. The ones that react the same is the powder. And this is how you find out fingerprints. You dust them, then you put them up to the light with a magnifying glass. Then you look at your suspect's fingerprints, and then you find out which one looks the same.
Based on all the evidence our STEM Group 1 has submitted, we believe that Dr. Smart and Shipwright Neff are guilty of stealing the ancient map.